The International Court of Justice in The Hague is set to hear opening arguments in a case brought by South Africa accusing Israel of having breached the 1948 Genocide Convention. Initial hearings will start tomorrow, but the court will likely take years before they can reach a final verdict. Alex Hague reports from Brussels.
One of the world's most polarizing conflicts is set for its day in court. The South African government has put forward an 84-page submission claiming that Israel's actions in Gaza have amounted to genocidal acts, and is asking the courts to order Israel to cease all military action in the Strip. The International Court of Justice's 15 judges will be joined by one Palestinian judge and one Israeli judge to hear South Africa's initial arguments on Thursday. Pretoria's legal team will start proceedings by arguing that the court should apply provisional orders to immediately suspend all Israeli military activity in the Gaza Strip until a final verdict is reached. Israeli officials have already likened this case to blood libel, a reference to an anti-Semitic trope. They argue that claims of genocide by South Africa make the country complicit in the October 7th attack. On Friday, Israel's lawyers will make the opposing case, either arguing against measures or challenging the court's jurisdiction to rule on these matters.
It will be the main line of defense, saying, well, of course, there are civilian victims, but these are collateral victims to a large extent, which are unavoidable in the context of an armed conflict. And of course, in response to that, South Africa's task will be to show that the acts that have been committed go beyond that.
Once the arguments are heard, the court will reach a decision on the provisional measures in a matter of weeks. But this doesn't necessarily mean Israeli military action will stop. The ICJ's orders would be legally binding, but enforcing them will be up to the United Nations Security Council, where the United States can block any action. Washington has already expressed its opposition to the South African case.
I find this submission meritless, counterproductive, and completely without any basis in fact whatsoever.
But around the world, the picture is more nuanced. European countries, like large parts of the world, are divided in their views over the conflict in Gaza. That means EU officials here in Brussels have been a lot more cautious in their response to this landmark legal case. Unlike his US counterpart, the EU's Foreign Affairs spokesperson told CNA that the case is primarily a matter for the court.
Since we are a community based on the rule of law and in respect for international law and UN Charter, of course we are supporting the International Court of Justice. Regarding this specific case, countries have the right to submit cases or lawsuits. The European Union is not part of this lawsuit, so this is not really for us to comment because this is a pending case.
The decisions made in the coming days in The Hague are unlikely to have a direct short-term impact on the ground in Gaza. The gears of international justice are known for turning slowly, and these are just the opening arguments. What they will do, however, is start a legal precedent and write a new page in the history of this painful and divisive conflict. Alex Hague, CNA, Brussels.